Hi, and welcome to week 7 of GetVoIP's weekly recap. This is where we go over some of the top VoIP news in the week. It's getting towards the end of the year. It's December now, so you're going to see more and more awards start to roll out, more future plans, things of that nature. So without further ado, let me get into it. Today is December 7th, 2012, and the first piece of news today is going to be from Vocalocity. Vocalocity have garnered the Higher Power Award from Inc. magazine. What's the Higher Power Award? Well, I'm not speaking higher as in altitude. I'm talking about creating jobs. And they received this recognition for basically being at the forefront of the American job creation. Vocalocity was also ranked number 8 in the telecoms field, and last week they were ranked 112th by Deloitte in the Fast 500. So some pretty big distinctions. The Higher Power Award is brand new. It hasn't been around as long as the Fast 500. But they had an event last night. Editor Eric Schoenberg from Inc. magazine was the host, and it was at the Mead Center in Washington, D.C. The event was sponsored by Merrill Lynch, and usually there's a real bit of excitement involved with being part of an inaugural award. I'm sure Vocalocity's reps who were in attendance were definitely feeling it last night, and there was a buzz in the building. So congrats to Vocalocity on their service to the community in Atlanta, and on an even bigger scale to their service to the U.S. economy and their innovation and creativity in creating jobs. Next piece of news. On an international level, video conferencing is down, but it's definitely not out. Even the big names in the industry, Cisco and Polycom, they saw a notable decline, noting a 14.7% and 15.2% drop, respectively. Now, Cisco still remains at the forefront of the industry, with Polycom just behind them. IDC conducted the study and attributed this drop to the uncertainty coming from macroeconomic concerns, and rightfully so, with these high-end systems costing hundreds of thousands. A lot of companies are apprehensive. They don't want to quite take the plunge yet, and it really is an expensive foray, but as time passes on, video is becoming a really key component and more of a consideration for a lot of businesses. And as these businesses continue to take a strategic approach, I think a lot of companies are trying to match them on that by providing cheaper solutions, or at least in the instance of Polycom's plan, where you can pay pretty much close to nothing for a solution over a short-term period of time. It's almost like a short-term loan. It's simply being put on hold for a lot of companies otherwise. But more and more solutions are going to be made available, and we're looking forward to that in the future. And late last month, ShoreTel revealed a little bit more about their cloud strategy. Questions have been arising from resellers and partners alike as to how they plan to integrate their on-premise and cloud business solutions, and moreover, how they plan to fit their traditional 100% all-channel model together with M5, which is sold direct. ShoreTel stated that M5 selling direct and the fact that they don't will perhaps be mitigated in the future. They mentioned is a channel enabler model along with a referral model. So the three main divisions within the cloud division will include a referral program, a conventional reseller program, a hybrid cloud on-premises model. With this enable tier, it's still in beta, but ShoreTel pretty much has the kid gloves on with getting everybody to latch onto their new system and make the transition. They don't want to cannibalize existing businesses, and rightfully so. Analyst Brian Riggs, who was the research director for IDC, the ones who conducted the study, he really feels this new strategy is going to work in due times, commenting, quote-unquote, "Short term, I think there will continue to be two sets of partners and two sets of models, and hopefully there will be some level of cooperation between these partners. But it's likely to be 3 to 5 years before this full merger of models actually occurs." And big news this week, as time rolls on, it becomes more apparent that RingCentral is really excited to unleash business SMS. Now, at CloudBeat this week, everyone seems to be really excited, including them, of course. I can't wait to try it out myself, and as I discussed in last week's report, I relish the idea of being able to text for business. They spoke a little bit about application. It's going to be on the PC, Mac, tablet, and in due time you're going to be able to send out texts from your IP phones. It'll be interesting to see how that occurs, because I would rather not be doing a sort of T9 configuration with the 12 keys on the pad. Obviously the less advanced phones, you would have a tough time doing so. But anyway, they spoke about a corporate directory. Now, this is really interesting because a lot of times, more often than not, you're not going to have the personal number of your fellow employees, thus you can't text them. But let's say you run into a circumstance where you need to get in touch with Greg for marketing. There's going to be a corporate directory, and Greg is going to have his own dedicated business number that you could text him at. So you can see there's some really great implications here, and it'll be exciting to see how RingCentral applies them. And it's the first form of communication I use personally. I usually get an instant response, and a lot of times people aren't always able to get back to you right away. So this will be great if you say we're texting a fellow worker who's in a meeting. They can get back to you with the information that you need, and you won't have to wait until they can actually give you a call or even physically see you. So RingCentral really seems to be onto something with this, and we'll keep you guys updated as to how everything's developing in the next few months. It's going to be coming out in early 2013, and like I said, I'm really excited about it, and we'll see if it's as good in theory as it is in application. And finally, Google appeared at the Kauffman Center to discuss Google Fiber this week. More specifically, whether Google Fiber is going to have VoIP. Well, sadly, it will not have voice over IP capabilities, even though Google did recommend that you can pair other services to enjoy the speed of Google Fiber. Anyway, the internet and search giant really doesn't want to get involved. They said that it's not the cost, but quote-unquote special rules that they found to be off-putting. These special rules, of course, are federal regulations and tax calculations that need to be involved. And Google really doesn't want to work in an extra billing system. They've only launched Google Fiber in Kansas City and Missouri, and even for that they would have separate billing going on for different jurisdictions, different places, different geographies rather. Google are certain this really won't impact the popularity of the service, and it's still going to roll out just fine. It's already found a great deal of success in KC. So definitely, it looks like VoIP is not going to be packaged with Google Fiber, and anyone who's been living under a rock, or at least not in Kansas City, Google Fiber is the same thing as the ludicrous speed that they discussed in Spaceballs. It's a gigabyte per second. Now, to break that down even further, a gigabyte per second is the equivalent of traveling from New York to San Francisco in under a half hour. And as a big video gamer, this is something that I really would love to have in my home. So we'll see if it comes to New York City sooner than later. I'll cross my fingers in the meantime. I would love to have Google Fiber maybe sometime next year, but I know that might even be a pipe dream as the rollout has really been progressive and they're not really hammering the market yet. It's been a slow marketing campaign that they have. Alright, so finally, I just want to mention to you guys that there's a little under 2 weeks left in our GetVoIP holiday giveaway. With the giveaway, you can win an iPad mini. It's a two-step process. All you have to do is like us on one of our social networks, whether it be Facebook, Google, Twitter, or LinkedIn. And then after that, you would just go ahead and leave us a personal review. Now this can be about something that you did like, something that you didn't like, where a provider needs improvement, where they might be doing fantastic, whatever you're pleased with. The options are endless. We're not looking for anything in particular. You can be a subscriber for 3 days or even years. Let us know how the sign-up process was. Let us know how porting your phone was. There's a lot of options here, and anything that you want to let us in on and let the rest of the community in on would be fantastic. We love these reviews at GetVoIP, and a lot of the providers also like to look through them, and believe me, they do take them to heart. So that's about it. You can go and check the links. I always include them under the videos on our YouTube page as well. And that'll about wrap it up. So this has been Mike from GetVoIP.com. Have a good weekend.